Welcome to Dark Horizon Creations. I'm Mike. This time we're taking a look at the DC Multiverse Catwoman action figure from the new Batman movie by Mcfarlane Toys. Now, if you hadn't already, please follow, like, and subscribe to my social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get a notification of when I post new content. And here we have Miss Selina Kyle herself, the Catwoman. And in the new Batman movie, she is portrayed by Zoe Kravitz. I have to tell you as a collector that this is the most sought after action figure in this wave, and this is the Wave 1 edition of Catwoman. The Wave 2 edition from Mcfarlane Toys, which will be released later in the spring, is the unmasked version of this character. I do believe that Zoe Kravitz is going to be a showstopper in this movie, that it is going to be one of the most discussed roles within this film for years to come. And I also believe that she is going to take our breath away for the entire 3 hours and leave us on the edge of our seats. I really do. I have to say that throughout the years, there's been many different women who have portrayed Catwoman in the Batman franchise. My favorite being Anne Hathaway. And I think she will always be the best actress who has portrayed Catwoman. Nonetheless, I do believe that Zoe Kravitz is going to take this character to a different dimension that we've never seen in another level. And part of that is because the backstory for Catwoman is going to be completely different than the traditional history for the character as we know it. One of the things I want to point out to those of you who are new to collecting Mcfarlane Toys figures, as well as those of you who are veteran collectors, is the packaging, the window display box. In my opinion, this is the nicest packaging for an action figure of any franchise that I've come across. And the reason being is you have a completely transparent view of the contents inside the packaging while it's still secure. You see the figure, the accessories, the display base, the collector's card behind the tray. Nothing is left for you to guess what's inside this box. You always know what you're getting with Mcfarlane Toys figures, and you always have a very clear view of the figure to allow you to examine it for any cosmetic deficiencies or quality control issues on the surface that would prevent you from buying that particular figure. On the front of the box, down at the bottom center, we have the Batman logo below the DC Multiverse banner. On this side, you have the Catwoman banner as well as the Batman logo up top. And on the back of the packaging, you have your obligatory product shots of the figure in an action pose. And let's unbox the figure, shall we? I have my X-Acto knife. Just cut the seal on the sides. The packaging here. Yes, there is. There's another. There we go. Another layer of tape. Figure. Also going to remove the insert. And I'm going to leave the collector card where it is, but it's the same artwork that's on the back of the box. The display base, you can see here. I'll try to cut it. And here's the display base. Really nice. It has one peg on it, but that's enough for the action figure to stand. And here we have Miss Kyle outside of the packaging. Seeing this in a video does not do it justice. This is a really nice looking action figure. There are actually 3 different tints of black used on this figure. The first is a matte tint that is used on the bodysuit, as well as a different matte black that is used on the rappelling harness. There's also a gloss black used around her collar, the hood, her gloves, her belt, and her boots. So really, really nice looking. And up close, you guys can see the attention to detail. Just a really nice looking figure overall. Now let's talk about the height of the action figure for a moment. We bring a ruler out, and she's about 6 3/4 inches tall. For those of you across the pond, she stands at nearly 17.5 centimeters. Now let's talk about articulation. Head sculpt will swivel left to right, full range of motion there. Limited motion up and down because of the collar that she's wearing. Forward and lateral movement at the shoulder, bicep rotation, double jointed elbow, wrist swivel, and pivot. Upper torso seems to be on a ball joint, and I don't think she has any waist swivel there. Forward and lateral movement at the thigh, thigh rotations limited, double jointed knees. You guys can see that there, really tight joints on this figure. And her foot will rotate, and the toes will pivot, and the foot will pivot as well because it's on that ball joint. So a full range of motion on this figure. Now let's talk about posability and stability of the action figure. With the aid of the display base, you can put her in just about any type of action pose that you would like to. Without the display base, the action figure is inherently unstable. I think it's because of the small size of her foot, as well as the weight being in the torso of the action figure, preventing it from remaining stable in different types of poses. As for accessories, she does include her whip, and I don't see any place on the figure for it to connect to with that, so I think she just holds it like this. Not really for certain. That seems to be how it's intended to be used, but I could be wrong. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have the DC Multiverse Catwoman from the new Batman movie by Mcfarlane Toys.